You're welcome to DBA TV, where we discuss everything international trade. In this series, you are going to be learning about what each of the Nigerian states have to offer as far as export is concerned. You know, I have maintained that Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars and that they can be self-sufficient, but you know, because the number of governors comes in with not the intention of generating income, but with the intention of sharing the money. But in this particular episode, we have put together series of video for all the Nigerian states from Abia to Zamfara, and this to enable the new governors that are coming in or the new administration in different states of the country to be able to take a cue from what we've shared in this video, which by the way covers the peculiarity of each state apart from the preamble. It talks about the profile of the profit, of the debt and income of the state. It talks about the potential of the state. It talks about the purchaser of the product the state have to offer, and of course the exportable product, and also the proposal we have for the state and how the state can directly profit from exporting raw materials, manufactured goods, solid minerals, and agri commodity. I believe this will be of interest to you and maybe to your governor or to commissioner, whoever it is in your state. Thank you very much for joining. Enjoy yourself as you learn through what maybe your state is what we're looking at today, what Nigerian state have to offer. Happy listening. Thank you very much. Okay, in this program every week, we have 7 sections for those that have joined us in the past. We have the preamble, just summarizing what the state is all about, location and the like. Then the peculiarities, what are the things peculiar about the state? Then the profile, that we focus on income of the state, and of course the debt of the state. Then the potential, what can this state export? Under purchasers, who can they export to and what volume do they buy? Under proposer, we look at what the state can do to support SMEs. And under profit, we look at how the state itself can make money directly by exporting products manufactured or crops grown within the state. So we're off to Ondo State with the slogan, Iṣẹ́ l'Ògùn Ìṣẹ́. That means work is the antidote to poverty. Iṣẹ́ l'Ògùn Ìṣẹ́. All right. Ondo State can avoid overdependence on federal allocation by focusing on export. Ondo State can avoid overdependence on federal allocation by focusing on export. Export can help this state also to boost its GDP. Export can help this state to boost GDP. Export is a tool that can be used by the state to create opportunity for SMEs to grow. To create opportunities for SME to grow. Export provides that leverage to create opportunity for SME to grow. Export can help the businesses in the state to decrease over-dependence on domestic market. If you are an importer, you are in Nigeria today, of course you know that you can't depend on local market and be looking for foreign exchange. If you are going to get that foreign exchange, of course you have to export. Export can help the state to earn export proceeds and grow its revenue. Export can help the state to make farming and rural life become more lucrative. Export can help the state to gain global relevance and market share and recognition. Export can help the state to be home of creativity and innovation. Export can help the state to be home of creativity and innovation. Export can help can serve as industrial catalyst for the state. It can help in job creation for youth in the state. It can help the state to know the value of what it has as competitive advantage. Can know what it has as competitive advantage. It can help the state to leave for other states to follow. It can make the state to be independent of federal government allocation. It can become, this business in the state can have access to the numerous incentives the exporter gets in Nigeria, like the RT200 FX, 65 naira for every dollar you bring in. It creates opportunity to maximize the indigence of the state abroad. You know, in recent time, through my TikTok video, I've been talking a lot about the opportunity of our people abroad. Opportunity of our people abroad. Why is this important? We can partner with our friends and relatives abroad to grow export in Nigeria. That's the good news about Japan. That's the only thing I say about Japan. I don't see the fact that they live in Nigeria. They are there to help us. They are there to help us. And this is very important. Very, very important, because if you leverage on that opportunity, you'll be shocked at how much Nigeria can do to grow export. It's a poverty eradication opportunity for the state. It can help the state to keep the leaks of state depending on wasting assets like oil. It can help to revive the economy of the state, slow down rural and urban migration, tax opportunity for exporters in the state. It can help utilization of idle capacities of the companies in the state. Export can make the state become viable. There are some states in Nigeria I heard are not viable. The export can make the state to become viable. It's a well-created opportunity for citizens of the state. Through export, can estimate the potential of product found in the state. The state, it can help the state to yearn for the people in the state is improving because of competition, and of course, zeroing on their area of strength. So what do you see in Ondo State today? Do you see unemployment in Ondo State? Of course, there are unemployment, and I'm going to show you the data very soon. There are unemployment in Ondo State. Do you see poverty? Of course, there are poverty in Ondo State. Do you see frustration? Of course, there are frustration in Ondo State, just like many other states in Nigeria. We have chosen to see opportunities in farming, opportunities in mining, and of course, opportunities in our population. Peculiarities. What are the peculiarities of Ondo State? Ondo State was created in 1976 from the former Western state by the regime of General Muritala Mohammed. By the regime of General Muritala Mohammed. It originally included what is now known as Ekiti State. I remember when Ekiti State was created in 1996, it was with fanfare. That was from Abacha. From Ondo State. I happened to be in Ekiti at that time, and it was a welcome development. Akure is the capital of Ondo State. The economy of Ondo State is 6th largest in Nigeria. Ondo State economy is the 6th largest economy in Nigeria, and is dominated by crude oil and crop. Ondo produced 750,000 tons, so 75,000 tons rather, of cocoa annually, and has the largest bitumen deposit in Africa, longest coastline in Nigeria. Ondo State have the longest coastline in Nigeria. The governor is always very proud of this and talking about to maximize the opportunity of this. how to maximize the opportunity of this. And the reason is simple. If you have that kind of coastline, you should have a port, actually. Located in southwestern Nigeria, covers 14,606 square kilometers. Ondo State is bounded in the east by Edo State and Delta, in the north by Ekiti and Kogi State, in the west by Osun and Ogun State, and of course in the south by the Atlantic Ocean. The ethnic composition of Ondo State is likely from Yoruba subgroup of Akoko, Ikare, Ondo, Owo, Ilaje, Arugbos, and Akpos, who are Ijaw extraction and mostly located in the Riverina area. The Akure people also. Ondo State contains the largest number of public schools in Nigeria, over 880 primary schools and 190 secondary schools. You know, Ondo State is believed that the education is the industry of Ondo State, particularly when it was with Ekiti State, and when Ekiti became its own state, Ondo keep increasing education. 880 primary schools, public primary school, and 190 secondary school. Interesting. Opportunity exists in agri, light manufacturing, healthcare, tourism, energy, mining, and logistics. Total land area is 15,820 kilometers. It has 18 local government. My local government is Akoko South East. Akoko South East. Population is about 4.9 million. Vegetation is tropical, savanna, and monsoon. Major crop, cocoa, rubber, oil palm, cashew, cocoa. Minerals include bitumen, timber, crude oil, limestone, granite, coal, and columbine. Let's look a little bit more than this state. Remember, the state produced 75,000 tons of cocoa annually. Large deposit of bitumen. Large deposit of bitumen. This state has a very large deposit of bitumen. Through deep sea port, co-located with free zone, second longest defined coastline of 75 kilometers, natural transit up to Nigerian hinterland, fertile land, and water for agriculture. Investment opportunity exists in cocoa, bitumen, cocoa, oil palm, deep sea port, education, cashew, timber, oil and gas, logistic hub. The state has a very high level, 38% of young population. Now, the population, working population in Ondo State is 3.3 million. Those not in labor force, 895. Those in labor force, 2.4. But out of that, gainfully employed, 1.4. The rest are not gainfully employed. Profile. Let's look at Ondo State debt. Let me look at the debt that my governor have accumulated. The domestic debt, sorry, the IGR of Ondo State was 24.85 billion in 2020, and federal allocation was 62. Debt profile has grown since 2016 from 65 to about 107 billion. That's total debt, both domestic and foreign. The challenge of foreign debt in Nigeria today is this. Anybody into foreign debt? Anybody into foreign debt? Anybody into foreign debt? We have to be paying heavily because of the exchange rate issue. Because of the exchange rate issue. Because of the exchange rate issue. It's not a good time to have foreign debt in Nigeria because of the volatility of the FX market. The operating expenses of my governor is very high. Very, very high. Look at this state. The operating expenses is about 92 billion. This state cannot survive without Abuja, even though it's an oil-producing state. This state have IGR 28% and federal allocation about 72%. So there's so much dependence on federal allocation. This is what I talk about every week. This is why they say some states in Nigeria are not viable. Because if you look at the operating expenses, the state cannot survive without Abuja. The goal of this program every week is to demonstrate how the state can generate money directly from export. Let's look at what budget have to say about Ondo State. According to budget, the Sunshine State Ondo State emerged number 30 in physical performance ranking, down 6 places from 24 in 2020. This drop was due to fall in IGR, reduced priority placed on capital expenditure. Can you imagine? The state IGR dropped from 17.55 from 30 billion rather to 24. The pay declined from 2.6 billion decline by 15.4 from 17 to 14 billion. Road tax saw uptick from 790 million to 107 billion, to 1.07 billion rather, making the state one of the only 14 states in the country to see its road tax grow as the COVID pandemic ravaged local economy across the country. Nevertheless, given its population, it still needs to work hard to boost internal generated revenue. This will go a long way to reduce the risk of further indebtedness. The state total revenue for 2020 was 119. Ondo State cannot fund both its recurrent and capital expenditure with its revenue unless it goes to the root of debt, because the cost is very high for recurrent expenditure. The state expenditure profile includes 92 billion on operating expenses and 29 on capital expenses. Whereas the state had total revenue inflow of about 190, opening balance in January 2021-25, and the proceeds from long-term borrowing of 15, the best the state can do is to cut down its operating expenses. I don't know why the operating expense was so high. The state needs to rein in its operating expenses, which grew. It has to reduce operating expenses, which grew from 86 to 92. In contrast, the state capital expenditure declined. Can you imagine? From 30 to 29. The state needs to invest more in capital infrastructure, as operating expenses of 96 in 2020 was more than 3 times capital expenditure. Governor Craig, this is not good enough. Ondo State total debt has been on a gradual increase in the past 5 years by rising by 64.3% from 65 billion in 2016 to 107. But it still holds the status of having the smallest debt profile in the entire Southwest. Ondo State have the lowest debt in the entire Southwest. In the entire Southwest. So what are the potential that Ondo State have? What are the potential that Ondo State have? Agriculture, including fishing, constitutes the main occupation of the people of the state. Indeed, Ondo State is the leading cocoa producing state in Nigeria. Other agricultural products include yam, cassava, and palm produce. Major industries in Ondo State include Nigeria Romania wood industry in Ondo, the oil palm mill in Lokitipupa, Alpha industry in Arigidi and cocoa processing factory, Ile-Oluji in Ile-Oluji, Olua Glass in Igbokoda, and the premier metal industry in Ondo State, in Ondo Town rather. Agriculture is the mainstay of the economy, and the chief product is cotton and tobacco from the north, cacao from central part of the state, that's cocoa, and rubber and timber from the southeastern part of the state. Palm oil and palm kernel are cultivated for export throughout the state. So the state produces cotton, tobacco, cocoa, rubber, timber, palm oil or palm kernel, and the like. Ondo is the Nigeria's chief cocoa producing state. Other crops include rice, yam, corn, coffee, taro, cassava, vegetable, fruits. Traditional industry include pottery making, cloth weaving, tailoring, carpentry, blacksmithing. Mineral deposits include kaolin, pyrite, iron ore, petroleum, and coal. What are the major crops? Again, cocoa, cocoyam, rubber, oil palm, cashew, and cocoa. And the mineral, bitumen, timber, crude oil, limestone, granite, and coal and columbite. So who are the purchasers of this product? Corn, for example, the market size is 36.3. So these are the products that Ondo State government can export itself to generate foreign exchange directly and have more than enough to take care of all the heavy operating expenses of Governor Akeredolu. Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Iran, China, Malaysia, Chinese, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Bangladesh are all countries. That import corn in Asia, in Europe, Spain, Germany, Netherlands, Italy, Belgium, Austria, France, Portugal, Ireland, Hungary, Ukraine, Denmark. They are all importers of corn in Europe, in North America, Mexico, Canada, United States, Dominican Republic, then Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia are all importer of corn in Africa. Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia. And the import of corn in Africa is actually $3.7 billion. So there's a market under AFCFTA in Africa. Let's look at rice. Can you imagine Benin Republic importing 3% of rice in the world and about 12% of rice imported by, can you imagine, by Africa? And the population of Benin is not up to Lagos. Of course, those rice are escaping to Nigeria. Iran, China, Iraq, major buyer of rice in Asia. In North America, United States, Canada, Mexico, and Haiti, major importer of rice. In Europe, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Belgium, Netherlands, major importer rather. Benin Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, Senegal, Ghana, Kenya, major importer. In Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, Senegal, Cameroon, Egypt, Ghana, Togo, Kenya, Angola, Guinea, Somalia, major importer of rice. How about cassava? Cassava, major importer, cassava market is 12.1 billion. China, Vietnam, Thailand, major importer, Netherlands, UK, Rwanda in Africa, Burundi. Cocoa beans, look at the market size of cocoa beans, less than 10 billion. And majority of these are from Africa. Who are those enjoying African cocoa beans? Netherlands, United States, Germany, Belgium, France, Malaysia, Indonesia. And these companies, they are the one producing chocolate. 75% of cocoa export is from West Africa. Some few countries import cocoa in Africa: Algeria, Egypt, Ethiopia, South Africa, Tunisia, and Ghana. Palm oil, another very valuable product, 29.3 billion. The state can generate this in Okitipupa And the state can export palm oil directly to India, China, Pakistan, Netherlands, Russia, Germany, United States, Egypt. In Africa, Africa is spending 4.2 billion to import palm oil. So here are the potential and opportunity available to those states: Egypt, Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, South Africa, Angola, Benin, Djibouti, Somalia, Senegal, Mauritania are all major importers of palm oil. How about rubber? Rubber market is 13.6 billion. Now, when you look at the budget of Ondo State for this year, that's I'm trying to check 2022 budget of Ondo State in 2022. You will realize that just one of these products can help the state to pay its bills. Just one product. That is the opportunity that we have under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Huge opportunity available, no doubt. The question is, are the people at the helm of affairs aware of this opportunity and know exactly what to do to take advantage of it? Because the truth is, they keep depending on Abuja to share the money, and that is creating big problem for us, sincerely. And I say creating big problem for us because it's another time for election. The people we vote in are critical. If they're thinking people who are willing to generate income by leveraging another means, they will be at an advantage. Look at this state, Ondo State. The budget of Ondo State this year is about 200 billion, 199 billion actually. One product. If this state decide to export $0.5 billion, $0.5 billion of any of these products, 0.5, you take care of his budget. 0.5. You will take care of all his budget. You will have surplus. You won't have deficit in that budget. Just by considering the export of what Ondo State is capable of producing. Look at rubber. From Japan to India, to Malaysia, to South Korea, to the United States, to Germany, to Spain, even in Africa, South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, and the market is 13.6 billion. Cashew nut. Cashew nut, 7.46 billion. From Vietnam to India to China, to Germany, to Netherlands, to United States, to France, and even in Africa, Ghana, South Africa, Togo, Tunisia, Algeria, Tanzania, and Morocco. Proposal. What is my proposal to Ondo State? What is my proposal to Ondo State? Here is my proposal to Ondo State. If SMEs, let's say palm oil or cocoa, if the SME is involved in production, primary production, harvesting and transport, primary processing and storage, second is processing and packaging, marketing and sale, logistics, export and distribution. If only SME are involved in this, it poses a problem. And the problem is this. Poses a problem. And the problem is that you have inefficient value chain operator. You have low processing capacity and low So inefficient value chain operator, low processing capacity and low output, few job creation, low quality and packaging, high cost of production, and non-competitive products in the export market. So imagine if Governor Akeredolu can have a public-private partnership in which you have SME1 do the primary production of palm products, of cocoa and the like, and then we have a large corporate who is processing palm oil or processing cocoa into maybe chocolate or processing cashew into roasted cashew nut. So SME2 can go to SME1, buy raw materials, take it to this large corporate who is going to process and package for me. In 2-3 weeks when I come back, I will pick up my goods fully ready for the export market. And I pay per unit of what they have processed for me. This will make SME1 to be more busy because there will be more demand from SME2, and SME2 focus on marketing and sales, logistics and distribution. You won't have to worry about NAFDAC power because here you have a big organization operating a shared facility. Big organization operating a shared facility. This creates efficient value chain operators, high processing capacity and high output, good quality and packaging, low cost of production and competitive products in the export market, increased job creation, decrease inequality, and decrease insecurity. Decrease inequality and decrease insecurity. In order to support exporters in Ondo State to enter export market in Africa, Europe, and America in a secure and sustainable way, the state can do the following: partner with representative at destination to market and secure contract, set up warehouses for pickup by wholesaler and retailer at destination, set up an entity agent and distributor at destination, partner with independent agent and distributor at destination, organize and sponsor manufacturer for exhibition in the export market. How can the state profit directly? Let's use cocoa as an example. The state have arable land mass of about 595 hectares, 595,000 hectares of land. Let's assume half of that land is used for cocoa. At the yield per hectare of 1 metric ton, we can produce 297,000 tons of cocoa. If we decide not to add value and export, we can generate $729 million. If we convert at 450, we can generate 302 billion. The state government already support farmers with seedlings and get contract to produce for the state, and the state pay them because the state own the land, own the crop, own the seedlings, and for their effort, the state pay them, and the state also incur cost of export, cost of farming with profit for the farmers. If you subtract all that plus the IGR, the state can still generate 291 billion. Remember, the budget of this state is 199. This state, Ondo State, can make money directly by exporting even the raw before they add value to it. How can this work? The state can partner with a private organization that is into this space, provide fund, while the organization provide expertise and they have a sharing formula, form the farmer into cooperatives, issue purchase order backed by guarantee, provide training input and support to farmers, provide collection centers for harvest, clean and process this product for export, source for buyers and do documentation and shipment, present document to buyers bank for payment abroad, pay farmers and share the balance with the SPV, and use the money for development. Your money for development of the state. So sorry, the network is not doing so well. So sorry about this. I'm not in the office. I'm actually in transit, and I had to do this from an hotel, and the network is really very bad. So sorry about that. The impact of the suggested revenue for state government go beyond generation of revenue via export. It has humongous impact on the employment generation and increased economic activity in the state. This, in my opinion, is a more effective, efficient, and enduring model for diversifying the economy of any state in Nigeria. This model can also be replicated by federal government at the federal level, especially for the exportation of solid minerals. Bye-bye.